And we got lots of news to talk about. And Stevie, we usually don't do this, but we're going to talk about some breaking news that happened just today, a few hours ago. The next season of The Ultimate Fighter has been announced. The two coaches have been announced.
I know you're excited about it, so am I. So why do we keep our listeners waiting? Let's just go ahead and talk about it now.
Frankie Edgar versus, believe it or not, the former welterweight champ, BJ Penn.
Yeah, and the curious part about it is that it's going to lead to a fight at 145. BJ Penn is actually going to drop down below lightweight for the first time ever.
And BJ Penn has signed a new fight deal with the UFC.
I honestly, when this story came out, my reaction to it was, it's going to be a great season of The Ultimate Fighter, but I really think it's a bad idea for BJ Penn to go to 145.
Now, we did talk about this a couple of weeks ago, Stevie, about Frankie Edgar possibly fighting Uriah Faber. And Dana White wasn't crazy about a catchweight fight, but the original idea was Edgar versus Faber, but Edgar didn't want to go down to 135, and Faber didn't want to go up to 145.
I'm just amazed that BJ thinks he can get down to 145 without killing himself, and God bless the guy if he wants to try. That's his business. But at his age and the fact that he's fought as high as welterweight, I'm really concerned about him getting down to 145.
Now, you saw him live in person. Do you think he could cut down to 145?
Looking at him at the Expo, obviously he was not in fighting shape, but he looked at least as big as lightweight, if not bigger. And by that I mean like most lightweights walk around 15, 20 pounds heavier than lightweight.
Yeah, and he's no spring chicken either.
That's what I'm saying. Here's the thing. I want to look beyond this season, because when I got this news, I looked beyond this season of The Ultimate Fighter to his prospects. And I'm thinking about BJ Penn versus Jose Aldo. And quite honestly, he is not going to be faster than Jose Aldo. He's not now, and cutting weight, he's not going to be if he has any cardio and stamina once he makes that cut. Is a Jose Aldo BJ Penn fight really going to work? I don't think so. I think he'd only have a puncher's chance at best. And I hate to say that about an MMA legend and a guy that I'm personally a fan of, but I don't think that fight's good for him.
Now, when he fights at this weight class, it will be his fifth weight class, because he's fought all the way up to light heavy, all the way down to lightweight in the past. And in December, he does turn 35.
Again, I keep saying this, Peter. It's not going to work for me. I've seen him fight at welterweight. I haven't seen his light heavyweight fight, but I can't imagine how bloated he had to be at that weight.
Yeah, I think it was early on in his career. I can't imagine it being that late in his career, because, he's been UFC since,
early 2000s. He's been around for a long time.
Yeah, K1. Yeah, UFC 31. He debuted at the UFC. That was his pro debut. Mm-hmm. So, he's been around since the early days, since 01. So, how many coaches do you know have come back to coach the second season? It's a very short list.
Well, yeah, it is a short list, but he's a good guy to do it. I'm certainly not objecting to him, because he's a great personality and very entertaining as a coach. So it's not that it won't be fun. It's just, again, I'm thinking about the fight consequences of it and not necessarily the season itself.
I think the light heavyweight fight was when he fought Lyoto Machida when he was 191 and Machida was 220 back in K1.
Yeah, that would probably be it, but still, he looked bloated the last time he fought at welterweight. Lightweight is really the weight class for him, and I can't see higher or lower benefiting him in any way at this age.
But BJ Penn, the one thing I don't get, it's going to be a great fight, don't get me wrong, but I'm looking at it like, I hate to say it, an easy fight for Edgar. The last time Penn won a fight was against Matt Hughes, and that was in 2010. The fight before that he won was in 2009 when he beat Diego Sanchez. He has losses against McDonald, Diaz. He drew, quotations, drew with Fitch, and two other losses to Edgar back in 2010.
Well, to be honest, I still think he probably did better than a draw in that John Fitch fight, but who knows?
Yeah, but remember those two fights against Edgar in the past? We've seen this fight. We have seen this fight, Stevie.
I don't look at the season, because everybody's focused on, oh, great, a new season of The Ultimate Fighter, blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. I'm looking at the fight perspective, and you're right, fighting Frankie Edgar, I'm not going to say that's an easy fight, but I do think that it's possibly a good fight for Edgar because the first Penn Edgar fight I thought was really close, and the second one I thought Edgar had his number.
I don't think it'll go the full 5 rounds because it'll be a main
Again,
event fight. I don't think it'll go 5 rounds.
it it's just not a weight class that favors Penn. There's only so many ways I can slice up this pie,
Yeah,
Peter.
I know.
It's not working for me. I don't think BJ Penn belongs at 145.